burn some daylight.
Oh, welcome back. It's spoiler season here at Burnin Daylight Sports. Named it that because I just finished watching the A's take 2 out of 3 at Fenway against the Red Sox, who are currently in the wild card. But it's really funny how I was thinking about it. Like the MLB season always right about this time seems to get the speed wobbles where it's just like, and then teams you thought really might have a chance all of a sudden go off the fucking rails. Teams
Royals,
like the Mets, the Royals.
The Mets for sure. I think the Royals have been playing catch up this entire season.
Yeah.
The Mets had a massive fall off.
Yeah. Well, let's I'll put the wild card standings up and we'll get right into it because I love the fact that I was right about my prediction about the A's and possibly the Angels playing spoiler. And the Angels, I still say, and maybe it's just because they beat the shit out of us a couple times this year, but I've seen them. They swept the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium, and they went on a little run here and there. Like the Angels have a pretty okay team, and their pitching is a couple of their pitchers are good enough to really give some teams fits down the stretch, and it's kind of, I don't know so much about the Angels, but for sure with the A's, first sweeping the Reds, kind of putting a nail in that coffin. Maybe not completely, they're still in it, but yeah. And now the Red Sox, which I don't think it did a ton to the Red Sox playoff hopes, but it definitely knocked them down a peg in the division race. So as of right now, we got the AL is the West is knotted up between the Mariners and the Astros. Blue Jays, they're leading the East, and Tigers leading the Central. With the Yankees, either the Astros or the Mariners, and the Red Sox making up the wild card race, with Cleveland a game and a half back. Rangers, who just got swept by the Astros, probably out of it at this point. Royals 7 games back. That's
I don't see them. I don't see a way forward for the Royals to make the playoffs this season, and I think that's really disappointing because Salvador Perez had another really solid season behind the plate.
Yeah,
he's 34. There's probably not a whole bunch of those left.
No, not many at all.
And especially since we got rid of Freddie Fermin, who is phenomenal and would have been a phenomenal replacement. Who
did you get for Fermin?
No, was it Grichuk?
Oh, yeah.
Because I remember, I think Fermin went to the Padres.
Yeah, Fermin went to the Padres, and yeah.
Was Grichuk with San Diego still?
I want to say he was with the D-backs, but I could be thinking about somebody else.
They traded. No, we got Ryan Bergert, right-handed pitchers, Ryan Berger and Stephen Kolek.
Okay.
I don't really know either of those pitchers, and I know Freddie Fermin hit his fucking stride with the Padres. So that tells you who won that trade. It was not Kansas City.
It's too early to say with the Mason Miller trade, but on the other hand, Leo DeVries has been as advertised in the minor leagues. He's 18 years old and he's playing at AA, so not too shabby. Not too shabby. The pitchers that we traded for, the one guy that's been up and down has been He's got really good stuff and really bad control. So we'll see if he can work on the command. Because there's been plenty of flamethrowers that have flamed out because they can't control the damn thing. So, looking at you, Osvaldo Bido, you gotta work on that command, boy. Stuff is electric, but if you can't control where it's going, that's tough. Okay, so the Yankees are what? They're 89. They're about 5 games back.
I think they're 4 games back, 3.5.
3.5.
I think this is I don't know. I think
the Blue Jays aren't slowing down either.
No.
Like they're consistently above 500. Like at any given stretch, they had like a little bit of a schneid, but they went on like an 8-game run right afterwards. So like they've counteracted those slides with big runs, but for the most part they've been at that like 6-4 at like any given stretch, as their 582 winning percentage. So like pretty much at any stretch during the season they're at like 6-4 over the last 10.
Yeah.
So I don't see them giving up the lead. Honestly, like the pitching, there's nobody just outstanding that like leaps out at you like a Crochet or a Scooble or a Hunter Brown. But Gaussman's, that's a tough out. Scherzer's still got some shit. Barrios, I don't particularly want to, like, when his stuff's on, it's good. So like they got and then they got their bullpen's solid, and they just up and down the lineup they got a bunch of no names that can hit really well. Like that I don't know if it's just the being up in Canada part that where like the most famous player on their team is Alejandro Kirk because he's a little short fat bowling ball. And he's a redheaded Mexican, which makes it even more strange. Like it just like how did that guy become like a pretty elite catch? I mean, all-star catcher.
Very, very good catcher.
Yeah. So it's just kind of funny.
Goof.
But yeah, that's kind of like the most recognizable outside of Scherzer. That's like the most recognizable player on the entire Blue Jays organization. And it's kind of funny. But like Springer, Dalton Varshaw's a stud. Bo Bichette's having a really good year again. Like he wasn't particularly good last year, but he's had a really nice bounce back year and hasn't been talked about much at all. It's Judge, Wilson, and Bo Bichette are the top 3 for the batting title this year. So like Bichette's not that far behind Wilson, and Wilson's not that far behind Judge, and Wilson's hot right now. Like he's back to the it's funny you say you could call it vintage, but he's still a rookie, but like
vintage, early season,
like
vintage.
Early season, like, yeah, like his little OCD Tourette's batting stance has gotten more and more pronounced, and like it's like the more he moves in the box, like the more likely it is he's gonna get a hit. It seems like,
yeah,
and he's just
out what it works.
He's just a wizard. Like he's got some power. He's got double-digit home runs. He's driven in 50 something, I think. And his OPS is like right up around 900. So he's getting doubles and shit too. But he just like knows where to hit the ball, and he's just a wizard at just placing it somewhere. He's among the lowest in the league in bat speed and exit velocity, but he's number 2 for average, and
which is insane.
Yeah, and he's got I don't know what it is here recently, but at one point he had like a 909 OPS. Like, all right, for a guy that only hits singles and doubles, that's that's pretty good. Pretty good.
You got to be really efficient to be hitting those numbers as a guy who only hits doubles.
Yeah. So it's it's pretty crazy watching that, but Yeah, but then again, Bo Bichette kind of doing the same shit, and with more pop, I think, and but also at shortstop, it's like it's kind of funny watching those two. It's like Bichette didn't get. I've not heard much of anything about him at all this year. Like on all the podcast on like the daily rundown. Yeah, and
he's having one of his best seasons in his career, and he's
having a really nice season. Like really nice season.
This was the Bichette that Toronto was hoping they got last season.
Yeah.
And this year he and Vladdy Jr. are turning it on.
Yeah,
they had a little bit of a slide and a slump last year, and they're proving that it was a fluke. I mean, clearly two of the best players on that team. And
then Springer too.
Springer has been lights out for Toronto this year.
Varsho's been
circus catching.
Yeah, and his offense is kind of whatever, but it's not nothing. It's not nothing.
Yeah.
He's a better version of Denzel Clark at the moment, and
that's a pretty big prop right there because Denzel Clark is really good.
I would say I would give a slight edge to Clark defensively, but a huge edge to Varsho offensively right now. So yeah, I think he's a better Denzel Clark. Denzel Clark was starting to hit a little bit when he got hurt though, and dude's got some power. He hit one 471 feet, which was the team leader, and I think tied for the league leader until Nick Kurtz hit one over the batter's eye, 493.
493 feet. That's almost that's a 500-foot bomb from Big Amish. That's the biggest. That's the longest home run of the season for sure.
It is. It was 489, which almost in the exact same spot Riley Green hit one, and I think Mike Trout hit one early in the season, also 481 or 489, and then and he's a rookie. Yeah, yeah, and it was slightly opposite field. It was almost dead center, but it was more left center, just slightly touched left center. So it's funny. His opposite field power is just crazy. His record breaking night, the 4 home runs, 3 of them went opposite field, and the double that was a 1.5 feet shy of the line to hit it out. Like that was almost 5 home runs.
That's insane.
Yeah. And they were, so 4 out of the 5, had that one been just a touch higher, 4 out of 5 would have been opposite field. Crazy. But anyway, I think I don't see much change in the AL East. I think the Yankees probably take the top wild card. The Mariners and the Astros have a series this weekend.
And that's I think going to be the decider. Whoever comes
out
that series is going to take the AL Central or AL West.
They play.
The Mariners
at
just
Houston.
beat the Royals today. I don't know what time the Astros play, but
Astros I think we're off today, and
they are.
But it's at Houston, 3-game series. That's gonna be a huge fucking series, and that'll be for the West and that second wild card. The Yankees, are they playing? They're the
Yankees have the O's this weekend.
At the O's, and the O's have been playing okay here lately.
They've had a little bit of a surge.
They're very much like the A's in the fact that they have pretty much no pitching, and a pretty damn good offense. Like when that offense is humming, it's like it's tough. I think the A's have a better offense, but not by a ton. honestly. I think ours is more consistent than the Orioles, but Orioles pitching is it's a lot like the Angels pitching. Like Sugano and Kramer are pretty good at times, but then they also kind of suck at times. And then the rest of the staff is just kind of gross.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but I could see division rivalry there that could be a tough series for the Yankees. It's in Baltimore. But they, they got 2.5 up on the Astros. And then, I mean, if the Astros end up sweeping the Mariners, or if they win the series, that kind of takes a little bit of wind out of the Mariners' sail, because they're 9-1 over their last 10. They had a 10-game winning streak, lost yesterday and then won again today, right?
Yes.
So, but if I think they got to win that series. Because obviously if they don't win that series, they probably don't win the division. But
I mean, there's only 9 games left in the season.
Yeah. Yeah. So like
left in the season.
You gotta go just like take it to them. They got the pitching staff to do it. And then like Julio Rodriguez has got good at the right time. Like he was kind of whatever for about really till the All-Star break. And then Cal Raleigh is, I mean, we didn't even talk about how he broke the mix record for switch hitter. Dude's having an unbelievable year. I want him to get 63. I want him to do it. He could.
I think he can. I mean, he's got to get 7 more in 9 games. Can you do that?
It's unlikely, but it is feasible.
It's not impossible.
It's not unheard of.
No, I do think he's going to hit 60.
I think so too.
Absolutely, I think 60 is not even a question. 63. Are we going to see that? I think that's insane. Schwarber is right behind him with 53, and I think Schwarber's quietly had a really productive season as well.
Yeah,
and no one's talking about him because everybody's freaking out about Cal Raleigh.
Right. Well, and also, but Cal Raleigh also plays catcher, and he hits from both sides, and Cal Raleigh is very much in the AL MVP talk. But if you look at the betting markets, it's still like 9-1 favorite for Aaron Judge. And
I think that's fair for Judge. I think,
he's also had possibly the best hitting season ever by a right-handed hitter.
Yeah, 48 homers as of yet. I think he's going to hit 50 bombs for sure. 329 average. He's got 103 RBIs with a 1.132 OPS. He's hitting almost 330. He's stolen 12 bases. He's having himself an absolute tear. I mean, this is clearly his best season. He's not even going to play the entire season. Last season, he played 158 games and he hit 58 homers. This year, he's going to play in at least, less than that, right? There's 9 games left. He's going to play at least 9 games less than last season and hit only like 8 or so homers less than he did last year.
Yeah. No, he was on such a tear at the beginning of the year. And when, it did take him a little bit to get back going once he came back off an injury, but now he's like if you look at the odds every day for like him and Cal Raleigh to hit a home run, like anytime home run, it's usually not worth the bet.
No,
because it's like less than 2-1 odds, and you're just like honestly, if you're betting on somebody to hit a home run, you want like a 4-1 payback, because that is a pretty long shot. Hitting a home run's not an easy thing, even for these guys. Like they also strike out quite a bit trying to hit those home runs. So it's but then you look and you say Cal Raleigh and Aaron Judge at like minus 150 or plus 150 on your to hit a home run. And you're just like, no, I'm not taking the chance on that for, to win $15 back on a $10 bet. Like, nah, I'll risk it somewhere else where it's a little better payoff. But now he's back into that category where, it's almost expected that the two of them will hit a home run today. And because, like Pete Alonso had a really hot start, hitting a lot of bombs and then cooled off significantly.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 37, which it's not
nothing
a bad
to sneeze
season,
at.
but for a Pete Alonso season, that seems a little, from what we expected from him this season, that seems a little low.
And how he started too,
I mean, he's kind of, after that 2019 season where he hit 50, he's hit 46 in 2023, but last season he hit 34. 2022 is at 40. So I mean, I
don't want to cut you off too quick there. But let's wrap up the AL real quick and then we'll move on because there's plenty to talk about with the Mets.
Pete Alonso, I think we just expect more than he's actually capable of.
Well, yeah, it also, we'll get to the Mets because I've got we'll get plenty there.
Got some thoughts on the Mets.
All right, I think Cleveland's got the most realistic. And that's no shit take. Only a game and a half back. They're the closest there, but I realistically they have the best shot. They've been playing really good ball here since the trade deadline, even after selling pretty hard. That's just kind of what they've been for the last like 15 years. It's just they're always right in maybe not in it, but always right there. The Rangers just got swept by the Astros. The Royals, the Royals, that's a lot of ground to make up in not enough time. I think had they got in, the Royals could be a pesky first round out for somebody.
I think if the Royals can make it, I mean, they have to absolutely turn on the Jets. Like, we have 9 games left in the season. They have to go 9-0. That's without a doubt the only way they make it in there is 7 games back from the wild card. If the Red Sox continue to shit the bed, we have a chance. But the Guardians and the Rangers also have to have to trip. They have to have like 2 games that they lose.
So you to the Rangers
win out. If we see Texas or Cleveland take even 5 out of those 9 games or 6 out of those 9 games, the Royals aren't going to make it in. They have so much work to do, and honestly, with the performance they put out today, offensively, the Royals this season, that's what hurt us. We would have made the playoffs. If we make it this year, we'll make it in spite of our offense, which has been so streaky this entire season.
The Rangers are done. By the way, the Marlins are a tough out. They're not a good team, but they're playing pretty okay ball right now.
Yeah.
They're okay right now. They're not bad right now. The Twins suck, and Cleveland's hot. So I think the Rangers are done. The Royals, who do they got left?
Oh boy. We
got Toronto.
We have Toronto. We have the Angels. And then have the A's.
So you're home for the Jays, at the Angels, at the A. Oh, fuck. You guys are done.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, the Royals have to beat the best team in baseball 3 times in a row and then beat the Angels and the A's, who are just ruining people's season streaks right now.
Yeah, the Royals might as well just play spoiler at this point because. But who are they? They don't have anybody to play spoiler to.
They have, so they could knock the Blue Jays out of first place.
That's true.
They could, and that's it. The Blue Jays are a playoff team regardless.
Well, I won't be surprised to see KC take 2 out of 3 from the Royals, from the Blue Jays at home. I won't be surprised to see them take 2 out of 3 from both the Angels and the A's. But I don't see them going on a 9-0 run to finish out the season.
Not with these people to finish it.
Nah.
Not with the A's and the Angels and the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
I think the Royals are done, and I think it's going to go down as a disappointment of a season.
I think so. I had really high expectations for the Royals.
I mean, top 5 rotation and top 5 pitching team in the league, and then a bottom 5 offensive team. And that's saying a lot. We're not a home run hitting team. We have Vinny and we got Pasquantino and Perez, who have got 30 and 29 home runs respectively. But I'm looking at this, and
so Cleveland's got the Twins, Tigers, Rangers to close it out. That's a pretty rough schedule. Twins or whatever. But
the Rangers and the Tigers,
yeah. All right, so who do the Tigers got to close it out? They got the Braves, who also they sucked this year, but that's still a pretty good ball club.
Yeah, and then they've got the Guardians and the Red Sox.
That's honestly, if there's a non-zero chance that Cleveland could win the Central at this point.
The Tigers.
I think they're 3.5 back of the division. They're a game and a half back of the wild card. Tigers have a gauntlet. Cleveland's got they do have a series at Minnesota, and Minnesota's just kind of. They've cashed it in. The A's suck, the Angels suck, but they're still playing hard. They're still playing ball. They got a lot of young guys up, and they're tough out. Minnesota's not at this point. They're kind of like the Rock. Even the Rockies are kind of a tough out. They don't win many close games, but they have a lot of close games. Yeah, and the Twins are just there's nothing there. They're just poking it with the stick, saying do something. And they're on the schedule for a lot of contenders, and I feel like they're going to get mopped up. But Angels and the A's, I think they're guaranteed to take one from pretty much anybody they got left.
If they take one from I think the Royals can go on a 9-0 run. We've seen them play that level of baseball this year. I just don't think they will. And I think
you guys go 6-0 and then
a lot more than one.
If you guys go 6-0, we probably just shouldn't talk during that series because
I won't be saying a word.
All right, so. Over to the National League, Brewers. They're running away with the Central. That's no question there. Phillies they ran away with the East. Dodgers. I think the Padres are only 2 games back. So the West is still a race, and I'm rooting for the Padres still. They've kind of laid a stinker here lately, but the Dodgers are just coming off a pretty bad stinker. The Cubs are just kind of whatever, they're, I don't know. They're pretty good, but I don't know. Talk about a fall off. Pete Crow Armstrong was in the MVP talk, and then he hit 180 in August and hasn't done much better in September.
No, I am wondering, like, if Pete Crow Armstrong, is he the reason the Cubs are not winning right now? Because the Cubs are 88 and 64. In any other division in the country outside of the NL East, right? Because the Jays are outside of the NL East and the AL East, right? Because the Jays have got what?
89.
Yeah. So they would be leading in all but 3 divisions. And that's saying a lot. I mean, they've got more wins than the NL West leading Dodgers, than everybody else besides the Jays in the NL or the AL. I mean, they're a good team still, regardless of how.
But if you look at who's ahead of them in the Central, they're 9.5 back of the Brewers, and they, at the midway point of June, they had a 6.5 game lead on the division.
5 games back from the Brewers. They're 9.5 games ahead in the wild card.
Okay, yeah, 5 games back from the Brewers.
Like,
okay,
hang on, that's
they're
not
still,
that
though,
far back.
But they had I think a 6.5 or 7 game lead, right about June 15th.
They did. Milwaukee's been really good. We can't discount that.
No, Milwaukee's went on a tear.
Absolutely shot the bed in the second half of the season.
Yep.
And it's not saying
their pitching's been kind of whatever. They had that Horton kid, the rookie, has been really good.
Yeah.
Imanaga's been hit or miss. Literally, like, when he's on, he's almost unhittable, but then he'll give up like 4 or 5. Ray's been pretty good. They're just, I don't know what, Kyle Tucker apparently was hurt for a while too.
Yeah.
But he really dropped off. Michael Bush dropped off. Pete Crow Armstrong fell off a fucking cliff. And I don't know. I don't think they lose much ground in the wild card. Let's see what they got left.
I think it would be wild if the Mets missed the playoffs. And we're not there yet. They've got the Mets. They've got the Cards.
So they're at the Reds, starting today. 4-game series at the Reds.
And the Reds are at 500.
The Reds really kind of shit the bed after
the Reds they're only 2 games back, though, out of the wild card.
I know, but they were playing hot, and they really kind of shit the bed after the All-Star break. And like I said, they got swept by the A's here a couple weeks ago. And but so Cubs got at the Reds. That's still division game. The Reds are a pretty good team.
And they're 2.5 games back. I mean, if they make up any ground right now, the Reds are competing. The only people ahead of the Reds for a wild card right now are the Diamondbacks, which we'll get to. But I think this is a Reds team that absolutely could make some statements.
They're dangerous. They're dangerous. But they got to get with it. They got to get with
the Cubs. And I mean, they're at home against the Cubs.
Yeah.
And it's a short porch in Cincy. It's
it's a short everything, and
Cincinnati is a little league ballpark. But I do think if the Reds make a move, it will be right now against the Cubs.
Yeah,
and I also think the Mets.
And I kind of like the Reds in this series too. I
do. I think that they were heating back up a little bit.
Yeah, and it's a good time against the Cubs, who have not been good. They've been kind of treading water.
I mean, they're 7-3, but they're beatable, is what
they're very beatable. So then they got to go. Then they're at home for the last 2, Mets and the Cardinals. So the Mets, I mean, we'll get to them in just a second. That's a very winnable series for the Cubbies, and the Cardinals. That's going to be a tough series. Last series of the season. The Cardinals, even when they suck, are always seemingly a tough out, and that's one of the rivalries in baseball. And that's going to be playoff atmosphere, even for 74 and 79 St. Louis Cardinals team. You know, that one's going to be, that's going to be an interesting series. The Padres, they're two games back of the Dodgers.
Yes,
I believe
they are 2 games back in the division.
All right, and so they're at the White Sox, which is great for them. And then they go to the Brewers, not great for them, and to the Diamondbacks, which is also not ideal matchups when you're trying to make a push. Diamondbacks have been playing great ball here lately.
D-backs are only 2 games out of the wild card.
And they were the biggest sellers at the trade deadline.
I don't know how this worked. They sold their soul, I think, along with all the people they let go. And
but all those Reno Aces coming up doing their thing. They've had just like a constant turnstile of guys coming up from the Aces, going, D-backs back down to Reno. And I don't know if it's performance based or if they're like trying to give them some respite. And I don't know, but like Tim Tawa was down back at the Aces for he spent most of the season with the D-backs, and then he got sent down to Reno, got sent back up the other day doing his thing. Jorge Barrosa's back up at the D-backs. We went to the final Aces home game on Sunday, and there was, I was checking the lineup. Like I waited until they posted the official lineup for the game because it seems like the Diamondbacks they're constantly bumping those guys back and forth from Arizona to Reno. And so like I'm all on board for I'm on the fuck the Dodgers and go NL West train. Like fuck even the Giants, who I hate. Make a run. You're only 2.5 games out. Go on a run. Padres, go take the division. I want the Padres to take the division. The D-backs don't have they don't have much of a chance of that, but they could definitely, especially the way the Mets have, that is the biggest shit the bed of every team down the stretch. Like the Mets, they're 3-7 over their last 10, and they're even worse over their last 25-30. They've been dog shit. This is like the most classic case of the Mets being the Mets. This is what you expect them to do and more. They looked really good for a large chunk of the season, and then they shit the bed in the most spectacular fashion.
They really did. I mean, we might see it'll be between the Diamondbacks and the Reds.
I think so.
I don't think the Mets are making the playoffs. They're on the road. Who do they got on the road? The Cubs.
They gotta go to the Cubs.
And the Cubs right now, as shitty as they've been playing, they're at the Cubs and they're in Miami. Yeah. I don't think the Mets are making the playoffs. I think we're gonna see the Reds make a push, and I think we're gonna see the Diamondbacks just barely squeak past the Reds and take that spot from the Mets. It's going to be in the wild card. It's going to be the Padres, the Cubs, and the Diamondbacks.
I'd love to see it. The Nationals, they're not very good, but they can put up some runs. Mackenzie Gore's still a really good pitcher. He's got banged around a little bit, but that's and it's a division game, so make of that what you will. That's the Mets should win 2 out of 3 out of that, but
they should.
I won't be surprised if Washington takes 2 out of 3.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a Washington team that's got some really good talent.
Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked to see the Mets sweep that series, because honestly, they should. But I'm not going to bet on it, but I kind of like the Nationals to take that series, just the way the Mets have been playing. And then you got to go to Chicago, got to go play at Wrigley for 3. That's a tough series. I'm not sure who I want to shit the bed more. It's the Cubs. I want the Cubs to shit the bed more, but and then
the Cubs shitting the bed though isn't going to get the Diamondbacks in. The Mets shitting the bed will.
Yeah.
And so I think we're going to see it. I think we're going to see it where the Mets are out of the playoffs, and it's going to be the Reds and the Diamondbacks.
Yeah. Well, and then they got to go to Miami to play 3 really important games that nobody will attend, and probably lose 2 out of 3 because that's just what the Mets seem to do.
Yes.
And yeah, I don't. They're better than. They're arguably better than the Cubs, but out of those 3 series they have left, they're better than 2 of those 3 teams, and I don't like them to win any of those series, honestly, the way they've been playing.
No.
And then the Reds
consistently mediocre for how good their team is.
Yeah, the Reds have a pretty okay schedule left. So they got home at the with the Cubs 4 games. That's a tough series, but I think they can win that, and I think they will. Home against the Pirates, and then they finish at the Brewers, which is a series they need to win, but they will probably lose.
Yeah, I can see them at least taking 1 from the Brewers, though. So let's say they split it with the Cubs and they sweep the Pirates. That's 5 games.
Yep.
And let's say the Mets shit the bed. All right. So now it's Diamondbacks and Reds. Reds are a game out of wild card fighting the Diamondbacks for it. And then they take 1 from who the Diamondbacks finish with.
Diamondbacks.
If the Reds can take 1 from the Brewers, I think they have a really solid chance of getting in. And this is home
against the Phillies, home against the Dodgers, and at the Padres to close it. All right, the Diamondbacks ain't getting in.
The Diamondbacks have the worst gauntlet I've seen yet.
Fuck,
the Diamondbacks are a for sure playoff team. Oh,
fuck.
No.
They only have to go against a division leader, and an almost division leader. And 2 of those in their division.
Yeah.
Oh, that's RIP Diamondbacks. That was a fun little run you had there, but
oh no,
man,
I don't think they're gonna.
That's rough.
I think if the Mets aren't in, it's gonna be the Reds. I think the Diamondbacks should be really happy if they finish at 500 with their last 9 games.
So the Dodgers, and Kershaw is announced he's retiring at the end of the season. Dodgers got 4 games against the Giants. That's going to be a tough series. It's at home. Then they got to go to the Diamondbacks and to the Mariners. That's also a fucking gauntlet.
We might see the Padres win the division.
Yeah. Yeah, and then did we look at the Padres already? We did.
I don't think we've seen the Padres schedule, but they finish.
They got the White Sox in there, so they're at the White Sox,
and
home against the Brewers, home against the Diamondbacks. Those last 2 series are tough, but it's not the White Sox, and yeah, man, the baseball got really fucking good all of a sudden. Like it's been good all year, but it got real fucking good.
They knew what they were doing when they built this schedule at the start of the season. Those are some insane gauntlets for these teams, especially like teams who are already in it, who are trying to stay.
Yeah. Well, and then the shit teams like my A's and like the Angels, like the Marlins, and even the White Sox. The White Sox have been playing pretty okay ball here lately. Like even the shit teams, minus the Twins, who I said looked like they're just kind of dead. They're pretty lifeless out there. But yeah, and then teams that should have been dead, the Diamondbacks have like come on strong, and yeah, like there's spoilers everywhere in baseball. I'm looking forward to this week. The 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 Astros Mariners series is going to be huge. The Reds Cubs series is going to be huge. Yeah, just some fantastic baseball. The A's get to go beat up on the Pirates this weekend before we get.
Do they get Skeens?
I'm not sure. I hope so. I want to see Jacob Wilson.
One game they're gonna win that game 1-0, and it's gonna be because Skeens got pulled in the 8th on his 100th pitch, and they're gonna be like, okay, they're gonna win it.
I want some rookie to hit a solo shot off of Skeens, and then he goes 8, and it's just like some.
It was 8 innings with 1 run.
It's like Willie McIver, the backup catcher, hits a solo shot. The rookie backup catcher hits a solo shot. Who's also like the friend. He's like the golden retriever of baseball. He's just like, hey guys, how's it going? Just happy all the time. And I want to see him hit a solo shot off of Skeens for the A's to win 1, or even if they lose 2-1, I don't care. I just want the one mark against Skeens to be like from Willie Mack. Yeah. Willie or Jacob Wilson. He's also kind of a golden retriever. So
in a different way.
But yeah, same type of deal. All right. Let's wrap up baseball with that. I got to pee real quick. Then we'll come do some college football. We'll touch on the NFL briefly.
NFL, but college football is where it's at.
Yep. I think so.
All right.
All right.
All right.
All right. So top 25. Not really a big shock of the top 3: Ohio State, Penn State. LSU, is that a shock? I've not got to watch LSU this year at all. I've not got to watch a lot of college football, but
Yes.
LSU, I've not seen anything of them.
Okay, they are good. They are a top 5 team right now. They will not be I think Ole Miss deserves to be a top 10 team as well. And so next week, when they play each other on the 27th, is going to be huge. But I don't think they should have stayed in the 3rd spot, especially after shitting the bed against Florida. I mean, they beat them 20-10. And that says a lot about where this LSU team is. Defensively, they're there. Offensively, they struggled against a Florida defense who got ran through by South Florida. And that's not doing South Florida like a disservice. That's still a South Florida who got their asses kicked by a Miami team.
Yeah, they got their asses. I did watch a little bit of this game.
Yeah, that Miami team is legit. I think Miami should be in 3 after what we saw. I mean, they beat a ranked team in South Florida who had 2 ranked wins over teams that maybe shouldn't have been ranked.
Well, and people were starting to talk about USF being like a legit contender.
They are still the favorite for the group of 5 representative for the playoff this year. USF is not a slouch team. You see that they stayed ranked, right? It wasn't a fluke. This is a team that I really think
and they beat
they
beat the shit out of Boise, right?
They beat the fuck out of Boise. Yeah. They beat the fuck out of, or they didn't beat the fuck out of Florida, but
they beat them.
They beat Florida, and they beat them
in the swamp,
like by playing it was like chess. That was an intelligent, well thought out victory. They didn't just beat them talent wise. They beat them talent wise, and they beat them by being smarter on the field. And that's a USF team that Miami walloped.
Yeah, they
I hate Carson Beck, but he is playing some of his best football in these early games. And I do think that means LSU should not be ranked at number 3. I think that should be Miami. The same way Georgia, I think Georgia's fine at 5. I think we should, maybe swap LSU and Georgia, LSU and Miami, and then LSU and Georgia, just because I'm looking at, who LSU has played. I think if LSU beats Ole Miss in 2 weeks, I don't know who LSU has this week, but if they beat Ole Miss for sure, they are the team. And they have to beat Ole Miss soundly, because Ole Miss is, we love our little. I can pull it up really quick.
I got it here. So this week,
LSU has a weak ass game against Southeast Louisiana. LSU still has yet to play anybody real outside of Florida.
Oof.
Ole Miss already has 2 wins in conference. Georgia already has a win in conference. Vanderbilt already has a win in conference. 2 wins in conference, or just 1? I'm not sure. But this is, I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at who LSU has played. Vanderbilt has only 1 win in conference, but I'm looking at who LSU has played, and I'm looking at who teams like Miami or Georgia have played. And I don't think we've seen enough from this LSU team against quality opponents that means that they should still be ranked at the top 3, especially after the game against Florida.
Yeah. So I guess on the first 2, like Ohio State, from what I understand, looks like world beaters again. Like they always. They're like they're the Midwest Alabama. They have guys on guys on guys. Like they have 5-star recruits that you've never heard of for some reason. Penn State has probably the best defense in the country, or at least arguably. LSU, like I said, I haven't seen them, but I've heard a lot of argument about putting them at number 3. Miami, I can understand not putting an ACC team at outside of Clemson at number 3, because ACC has been kind of meh this year. But yeah, Miami dog walked South Florida, who was supposed, they were up and comer, and
they still are. I mean, we saw flashes of that against Miami.
Yeah.
I think Miami is just that good. I was arguing about Penn State being ranked so high, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I have the same thoughts about Penn State. Penn State also hasn't played anybody. They've played Nevada, Florida International, and Villanova. And you're telling me they're the number 2 team in the country? Like, I don't think they deserve this spot. Miami looked legitimate against USF, and that's a USF team who has looked legitimate in all of their games this season. It was like when it was like the Alabama-Wisconsin game, which we'll get to. Yeah. Alabama played a legitimate opponent. I'm saying that USF this season is a legitimate opponent, and Miami trounced them. This is a complete Miami team. Mario Cristobal looks like he's finally figured it out, which is impressive because I never thought he would. But this is, this is a good defense, a revamped defense, like a defense that we haven't seen in Miami since at least the years that I was born or before. Like, this is a good team.
No, I agree. I just laughing because I apologize to Andrew the GOAT for not noticing the comment earlier, but he said it's officially panic time for the Red Sox. I think that's funny. I have a love-hate relationship with like real Red Sox fans, because there was a lot of bandwagon fans when because my freshman year of college is when they came back from 3-0 in the ALCS and then win the World Series to break the curse, the 17-year curse or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of bandwagon Red Sox fans, but I appreciate true Red Sox fans. I hate them because Boston fans are annoying as fuck. They're on the same level as Philly fans. But also I love how passionate they are, because like that. No, the Red Sox are a good team. They ran into a buzzsaw. That is the Sacramento Athletics right now. But I don't think it's
Sacktown, baby.
I don't think it's panic time for the Sox. I think it's panic time for the Rangers. Depends on how this Mariners Astros series go, but it's going to be panic time for one of them. And the Royals, they're like red lights, 5-star alarm. Like, we got to get going now, and then we got a lot of shit go our way as well.
Everything has, like, the Royals are like the kind of team right now that they will be relying on somebody else. Even if they do everything in their power, they still will be relying on somebody else to get into the postseason. I think the Red Sox have a little bit more control than that. I don't think it's panic time yet. I think it's panic time if they slip.
It was a bad time to go cold for sure. Okay, so Georgia, how's Georgia looked?
Okay, Georgia looks really good, and that is with the caveat that Tennessee also looks.
I was really gonna say good. That. So that was the game of the week. It was at Tennessee, or was at Georgia, right?
It was at Tennessee. It was at Tennessee. This is a Georgia team who has genuinely had Tennessee's number for the past decade. This is 9 in a row now for Tennessee losing to Georgia. But this is a Georgia team that was down 21-7. This is a Georgia team that had multiple comebacks and played really sound football. I mean, there was it was sloppy at times. They got down by 2 scores. They got down multiple times, but they figured out how to hold Tennessee when they had to, and they figured out how to move the ball when they needed to. And it was
they got Kirby Smart at the helm, and he is a great coach. He's a great coach.
He really is.
He's built up a hell of a program there at Georgia, and like I'm not surprised that Georgia looks good. That they should look good. With the amount of talent that they can get, especially now with the NIL, because SEC teams can raise some money. There's nothing else to do in the Southeast besides watch college football.
As a girl who's lived in the South, in the SEC, there is nothing to do in the South but get drunk and watch football, as Matt says so eloquently. Football. This is a Georgia team that I do think is the SEC team to beat. I think LSU, until they have a good win, and their first chance at a good win doesn't come until the 27th against Ole Miss. And I love Ole Miss. I'm a homer. We all know that I'm a homer. Y'all make fun of me for it all the time. I also am not sure how good Ole Miss is.
Yeah.
And that's to say that, we've gotten 2 wins against Kentucky and Arkansas that were both by 1 score against good offenses that we've seen from better offenses than we've seen in the past from Kentucky, but a good offense that we know is happening right now in Fayetteville, Arkansas. I don't know if this LSU team is legit. I do know this Georgia team is. This is a team that I think is the SEC favorites until proven otherwise. I don't know, if we're going to see the same level of dominance that we saw the past 2 years from Texas, or the past year from Texas. I don't think we're going to see that in the SEC. I honestly think Georgia is the SEC leader, and they will remain that way until something changes. And I think Gunnar Stockton is a better quarterback than Carson Beck. Carson Beck is in a better system for him in Miami, but Kirby Smart is working wonders with Gunnar Stockton, and it is showing. He is good.
Nice. Oregon. I hear good things about Oregon.
They're good. They've got a solid quarterback.
Can they get over the hump? That's because Oregon's always good. They always look really good. They always look like they could win the whole damn thing, and then they never do.
I don't know if this is the team.
I
think, especially since they're not the Pac-12, they're now going up against. Like
last year was their chance.
It really was. Dylan Gabriel last year was their.
They got hosed on the whole how the bracket shook up. Being the number 1 overall seed and then having to come back and play Ohio State, who eventually won like that.
Yeah,
I think Ohio State probably would have won regardless, but also Oregon should have had to play like Arizona State or Boise.
Well, I don't know. I think we would have. I'm curious to see how they would have fared against that Arizona State team from last year. The way Arizona State really worked over Texas for a good amount of that game. I'm curious to see how well Oregon would have done.
I bought into Oregon way more than I bought into Texas.
That's very true. Although I do think Quinn Ewers is a better quarterback than Arch Manning is. And that's a hot take, I know, but
I don't know if it's that hot anymore because it seems like everybody's down on Arch Manning.
Manage a game. I don't think Arch Manning can. And Arch Manning is streaky.
So I haven't got to watch him yet, but I hear a lot of talk about, and not to skip over Florida State. We'll come back to that. We'll come back. We'll skip over him for now, but we'll give the tongue bath that Florida State deserves when it's due. But I've heard a lot of talk about the fact that Arch Manning didn't play any competition in high school. I still think that kid's probably going to be a really successful NFL quarterback. That's what the Mannings do. I think it was a mistake to go to Texas because Texas is a dysfunctional program. They're kind of like the Mets, where they have all the money in the world and they're willing to throw it around. They get all the flashy players and then still never seem to actually win. I mean, they are the New York Mets of college football. That's what. Well, I mean, they're only surpassed by Texas A&M.
I was going to say that. I don't think Texas is New York Mets of college football. I think it's A&M.
Okay.
However, Texas is the Padres.
Okay, that's where I was going to.
Texas is the Padres.
Yep. So, yeah, and you could flip a coin as to which one's which, but I think that's a legitimate comparison on both ends. Like, regardless of which way your coin lands, I think it's accurate. I think if Arch Manning was at Georgia, if he was at Ohio State, or let's go down the line. If he was at Oklahoma,
would be. I think he would fit really well in Lane Kiffin's offense at Ole Miss, because I think he plays very similar to
Tennessee.
Jackson Dart. But Tennessee or Oklahoma, I think Arch Manning would be
right. I think Arch Manning's probably still a good quarterback. I don't know. Texas is a dysfunctional program. I've been a Texas hater. I'll say that since a long time ago. But I don't like them. I don't like Oklahoma too, but I think Arch Manning I think Oklahoma's a better program than Texas. I really
Absolutely.
do. They also have a lot of money. Texas has more.
Texas has more, but they don't use it well. I mean, Oklahoma reloaded their offensive weapons.
You know, Texas and the Dallas Cowboys, they're one and the same.
That's a really good comparison.
So, but all right, going back to Florida State. Florida State's back.
They're back.
They're back.
They are good.
And I like that. I hate Florida State. I hate Florida teams in general. But it's good for college football when Florida State's good. Yes. I'm glad that they're good. I want them to lose in the end. But I want them to be in the conversation, and they should be in the conversation. They're a powerhouse. And it's good to see them back in powerhouse mode. Yes. That all being said, fuck Florida State and Florida teams in general.
They've got an easy week. They've got Kent State at home. So this is another
root for the National Guard.
They've played one. Yeah. Florida State is a lot like LSU right now. Now, I think their win over Alabama carries a lot more weight than LSU's win over Florida. But Florida State has only played one other game. It was against an FCS opponent. I think it was FCS.
It was like Georgia Southern or something, wasn't it?
Well, it was East Texas A&M.
Oh, never mind. Yeah.
And they beat them 7-3.
It might as well be Lamar Community College.
Yeah. I think their first actual test comes the first weekend of October. They're playing Miami. And they've got Virginia next week.
That might as well be the ACC championship, honestly.
Yes. Whoever wins that game, I think will win. It's going to be a rematch between Florida State and Miami in the ACC championship.
I think so too.
It's going to be like those years in the SEC where it was always Alabama, Georgia.
Do they have like the East-West divisions, or is it just top two?
I think it's just top two.
Because I know that's what the SEC is and what the Big Ten is this year as well. So, Florida State's back. 100% agree. I kind of lean more Florida State
over Miami
just because of the recent track record.
I will say
last year was a blip. Can we say that last year with Florida State was just a blip?
It was a blip, and it was because of DJ Uiagalelei. Who
sucks.
He brought a curse with him.
So bad. Clemson, Florida State, Oregon State.
Everywhere he went, he left a trail of bodies.
Yeah. Except his own for some reason. Like that like he was like a cockroach. He just kept on living.
Yeah, he somehow figured out how to keep going.
Yeah.
Now on to Illinois. This is an Illinois team that has Indiana this week. And this is an Illinois team who people are thinking is a lot stronger than they were last year. They were
pretty good last year.
They had a 10-win season last year.
Yeah.
This is an Illinois team, though, who, again, hasn't really beaten anybody. They beat Western Illinois, they beat Duke, and they beat Western Michigan. Duke, you could make an argument as being an actual program, but I wouldn't because it's Duke.
I'd say it depends on the year. And they don't have Danny Dimes this year, so
no. And so I think this is like Illinois'. If Illinois wins this week, I think they are genuinely like deserving of being ranked this high. This is an Indiana team who is coached by Curt Cignetti, who is a phenomenal coach.
Made the playoff last year with Indiana. And Indiana, again, hasn't really played anybody.
Yeah, Indiana hasn't really played anybody.
And they don't really have much of a schedule this year, do they?
No, they struggled against Old Dominion to open the season, and they've put on a clinic since then against Kennesaw State and Indiana State, but those aren't real teams.
No, but neither was Old Dominion.
They do have a little bit of they've got a schedule. Indiana does. They've got Oregon in a few weeks. They've got Iowa
at Oregon or
it's at Oregon. So
that's
right now they're at home against Illinois this week.
Okay.
And then they have Iowa that they're at Iowa in
Iowa is not good this year though.
They're never good. They're 2-1 though, so they've got a decent
defense. But they're usually a tough out, and I don't think they are this year.
That's valid. And then they've got
they lost to Iowa State, right?
Yeah, they did, but it was close. It was by a field goal.
It's always close, but
put up
if they lose to Iowa State, they're usually pretty shitty.
That's true. But so then they've got Penn State and
that's a loss.
Wisconsin. That's kind of it for teams that might actually.
Wisconsin's just kind of whatever this year, though, aren't they?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, might see that by the end of the year they might have figured something out, but that's the only. So you're right. Indiana does have a pretty easy schedule, but they have to win this if they want to have a chance at the playoff. They have to finish.
Yeah, you can't lose to Illinois at home.
Oregon? Are they beating Penn State? No. So they have to beat Illinois. So this Illinois team right now,
especially at home.
Yeah. Now Illinois has Ohio State, USC.
And for the record, like college football is kind of like the last place where home field advantage really matters. I mean, Major League Baseball's a kind of, but it's a different game.
Yeah.
It's a different game. College football is kind of the last place where, I mean, some places in the NFL, but for the most part, it's college football's where, and college basketball.
Outside of Colorado, I mean, there's not really anywhere I would say for football or basketball or baseball that home field advantage holds that much water outside of the college football scene.
Yeah. It's college football. It's just even like we talk about Iowa State being a spooky place to play because it's weird. It's
Iowa, children of the corn type shit. Yes.
But it's also loud and like having been at Washington, also it's like Seattle. You don't think of a bunch of tough guys in Seattle ever. But that stadium gets loud as fuck, and it's big, and it's on the water, and you know, like it gets loud, and it's intense. And yeah, I think college football, at least for the sports I know, I don't know hockey very well. Live,
I would say hockey's a professional sport that home field advantage does.
That makes sense, and certain NFL stadiums, because I've been at Mile High when it's fucking rocking. Yeah, I've never been to Lambeau, but you can hear that. Seattle, whatever the stadium the Seahawks play at, that's another one.
Lumen Field, I think.
Yeah, but then you compare that to the Ducks Stadium, like that's every year like one of the loudest stadiums. Arrowhead, same way. Like, but yeah, college football, like all of those stadiums seem like they get loud as fuck. So yeah, to lose at home to our conference rival, that's a bad loss.
It is, and that's why but I think
to lose on the road in conference, like they give you a little bit of slack for that, but to lose at home, that's
against a non-conference opponent that's in a conference that's by and large considered to be worse than your conference,
that one's rough.
That is rough.
But I think Illinois wins this. They've earned that top 10 spot.
Yes. Now they do have USC next week as well. USC.
What's USC's story this year?
Well, they're ranked 25th. They look pretty solid.
They looked okay early last year too.
I know.
And they finished the season kind of okay.
They had a strong finish to the season last year. They just can't play in the middle. This is a USC team,
but they weren't a bad team. Like the year before, they were a bad team. But last year they were okay. It seemed like.
Yeah, they were. I think this is an Illinois team, though. I think so. USC has Michigan State this week. They should win that game. They should stay ranked, which means that Illinois, if they win this week and next week, will have 2 ranked wins in conference under their belt pretty early on, and then they have Ohio State, and that's it on their schedule.
Well,
so they can theoretically finish 11-1.
I mean, shit could happen, but
shit could absolutely happen. Washington's still 2-0. Maryland's 3-0. I mean,
Washington had trouble with CSU for 3 quarters. So
it's probably because CSU paid the refs. We already have evidence of that last week. So
that's that new Pac-12 money. It's that new Pac-12 money.
It is. All that money they got from Canva for their new stadium. But this is an Illinois team who I think is going to...
It's Canvas, isn't it?
It is Canvas.
Yeah.
It's like a college. It's like a credit union.
It's gay enough where it should be Canva, though.
But this Illinois
Stadium
team
was the best, but
they've got an easy schedule this year. If they can get past Indiana and USC, I don't expect them to win at Ohio State.
No, but if you make it a good game,
we'll make it a good game. And if they're 11-1 and their only loss is to Ohio State, and they have 2 ranked wins against USC and Indiana, and that is also providing Indiana continues to have a solid season after.
Yeah.
And the same with USC. We're saying we beat Boise State and Florida. And what if Florida finishes with a sub 6-6 record and so does Boise? Who knows how strong USF's claim is going to be.
Yeah.
But Illinois could be, right up in there. It's like
and especially if they keep it within 2 scores of Ohio State, then then beat beat Indiana, beat USC, and keep it relatively close with Ohio State, because there's a solid chance that Ohio State blows them the fuck out of the water, because they're kind of a juggernaut. Whether they put it all together or not, like talent wise, they clearly should win the national championship.
Yes.
But it's whether they put it together or not. And Chip Kelly's not the OC anymore, right?
Oh no, he is. He's still
he is? Okay. All right. Well, they're probably fine then.
Which I also think is just hilarious, because you're looking at UCLA, where he was the head coach. You know how fucked up your program has to be.
They're looking at
Super Bowl winning head coach, who is the head coach of your program, leave to go be a coordinator.
Well, I heard on another podcast. I think it was on Drinking Bros Sports. They said that UCLA is tossing around the idea of going down to FCS for football. Yeah,
and the Big Sky was like, "We don't want you."
I'm like. Honestly, the Big Sky, because that's where North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana
State, Montana.
That's the powerhouse of the FCS. So it's kind of up in the air as whether they could actually compete down there at the level they at the competition they've been putting up here lately.
They're 0-3. I don't see them doing anything positive right now, anytime soon. A&M deserves this ranking right now.
Who did they beat? They beat
Notre
Dame.
They beat Notre Dame 41-40 in at Notre Dame. So they beat them in wherever fucking Notre Dame is.
They beat Touchdown Jesus in Nazareth.
Yeah. And so this is a legitimate team. I am not sure. I think they've got a week off this week.
But they're gonna Met, aren't they? The Texas A&M's gonna Met.
They're gonna always Met. They have Auburn next week, an Auburn team under Hugh Freeze, who kind of looks like they know what they're doing again. I think A&M is going to have.
It seems about time for Auburn to have a good team again. You know, like they're it's not consistent with Auburn, but when they're good, they're pretty fucking good, and it feels like it's time for them to be pretty good again.
Yeah, and I think they
especially
will
now
Texas
that Alabama's kind of in limbo. Like, I still think Alabama's probably really good, and I think that coach is pretty good, but he was also in the Pac-12. And now he's in the SEC. Granted, you took over the jewel of the SEC, so you're gonna catch some flack until you pick it back up. But also those are giant shoes you're trying to fill. Only the greatest college football coach ever is the shoes you're trying to fill. So it's gonna be a little bit of a transition period. But I think at the end of the year, Alabama's there. Probably makes a playoff, probably at least wins a game. If not, competes for a title. Tennessee, though.
Tennessee?
Do you trust Josh Heupel?
I do. I hate Tennessee, and I hate Josh Heupel. But the hype train is legitimate, and he knows what he's doing in the SEC. I mean, that's a Georgia team who I think would steamroll just about everybody else in the conference outside of LSU, Ole Miss, Alabama, and Texas.
That's true. But you are going in Knoxville, 120,000 strong. That's a notoriously tough place to play.
No,
you come out with a win.
Rocky Top is insane.
That's a big win. Win, and especially this year with Tennessee coming in hyped like they were, and rightfully so. I think Tennessee's a really good team. That's a good win for Georgia. Like that's not a routine win for Georgia. That's
absolutely not.
That's a good win.
It is. It's a statement win for Georgia, and I think that's going to be. I mean, the SEC. I think we're seeing it more than ever this year. Is like the toughest league. Lane Kiffin and we're going back to him all the time, but he said that like it's a different leagues thing.
It's funny. All the Big Ten people say SEC is a basketball league now. And I'm like,
it's very funny because the SEC has 11 teams ranked in the top 25 this week, and I don't think the Big 12 I think they've got 7.
No,
7. That's not nothing. But
the Big Ten just always hangs their hat on Ohio State.
Yeah, okay, you've got Ohio State. We have 11 of the best teams in the country playing each other this week. Like, this is an Oklahoma. Like we're talking about Oklahoma. Oklahoma, again, like last year with Florida State, had a shitty year. John Mateer. Okay, I also want to say this. Washington State produces really good quarterbacks. They did it with Cam Ward. They did it with John Mateer, and John Mateer is a front runner right now, or one of the front runners for the Heisman for Oklahoma.
You forgot about Uncle Rico.
And I forgot about Uncle Rico.
What's his name again?
Ryan Leaf.
Well, I forgot about Ryan Leaf. No, the one who actually looked like Uncle Rico.
Minshew. Gardner Minshew. Yes. Like
Washington State.
Some really solid quarterbacks. And John Mateer at Oklahoma looks so good.
Speaking of Washington State, I have to watch that clip of Mike Leach going with the rundown of the Pac-12 mascots and who would win. That is peak college football.
Mike Leach was the epitome of college football.
R.I.P. King. R.I.P. All that shit with Texas Tech and no, He just had soft players and he was toughening them up. R.I.P. King. R.I.P.
No. And you saw that he turned Washington State around. He turned Mississippi State around. Mm-hmm. He turned Texas Tech around. Like, you don't get to. No. He was never hazing. He was never violent. He was never abusive. He made those players. He molded those players into being some of the best in their conferences and better than they thought they could be. And for his, I don't think there's anything that could possibly tarnish his legacy.
No,
whatsoever.
And if you got anything bad to say about him, go back and watch that clip when he breaks down the Pac-12 mascots. Like, we got to find some Harry Potter nerds to break down the Sun Devil, because there's some other stuff going on there.
Yeah. Yes.
And he did that all off the. I'd like to think he did it all off the cuff. I assume he did, but even if he didn't, I don't care. That was well done. That was peak college football. Speaking of peak college football, I want Iowa State to run the table. I feel like the Cyclones have been a thorn in the side of the Big 12 for the longest time, and they're due. They are fucking due. I think it's time. It's time for them to like claim supremacy over the non-existent state of Iowa.
Yeah, they sit this week, but I think they absolutely will. I think it's going to come down.
Sucks. K-State sucks so bad.
Fell off.
I
do not know what happened to Caden Anderson, or not Caden Anderson. Avery Johnson.
I don't
know what happened to him. The quarterback we saw last year at K-State is not the quarterback we've got this year.
They're bad. They're bad.
They're stinky. They are shit.
Mm-hmm. And Manhattan will still be a tough place to play.
It'll still be a tough place to play, but
you won't have to play a tough team because they suck.
Yeah,
they suck.
They do suck.
Ole Miss. Give me the homer take on Ole Miss.
Okay. Our backup quarterback is better than our starting quarterback. Chambliss is better than Simmons. And that's no shade to Austin Simmons, but Simmons is unpolished and Chambliss does not look unpolished whatsoever. He came in last week in relief and he put up some serious numbers. He threw for 353 yards, and a touchdown. And
when did they put him in?
62. I think he started because Austin Simmons came in, he threw for a touchdown and then left the game.
Okay.
But he like literally one throw, one touchdown for Simmons. Simmons has through
some
3
gangster
games.
Shit.
I know, but Simmons through 3 games already has 4 picks. He didn't throw any against Arkansas, but he threw 2 against Georgia State, and he threw 2 against Kentucky.
How is Arkansas this year, though?
They have a solid offense. They haven't really played anybody yet. They played
Arkansas is another one of those teams. It feels like it's time for them to be good again.
And I think they will. This week they've got Memphis, and I think
sneaky amount of money in Arkansas too. Like
what's Walmart?
Walmart and Tyson.
Yeah,
2 of the biggest corporations ever.
Yeah. They've got Memphis this week, and then next week they've got Notre Dame, followed by Tennessee, and then A&M, and then
Auburn. A couple weeks
Auburn.
ago would have been a tough game, but now Notre Dame sucks.
And they're hosting Notre Dame. So they might have a chance. If Notre Dame wins this week and maintains their ranking, they might be able to have a ranked win next week. But this is they threw for 300 yards, no picks. Taylor Green looks legit. He also rushed for another 115 yards. They have a solid offense. Their defense, like always, leaves a little bit to be desired. Same with Ole Miss. But Alabama,
Ole Miss has never been known for defense. So
and Ole Miss has a serviceable defense. I think that the thing about Ole Miss is that they are a track team. They will beat you from the 100 to the mile, and they can run the 100 and they can run the mile. You have to also be able to run that to keep up with them because they will score. This is an Ole Miss team who I think is the 3rd or 4th best right now in the SEC. And this week they've got Tulane, a Tulane team that honestly, in my personal opinion, maybe should be ranked right now. Because Tulane, I think, is that good.
What is it with Tulane being like sneaky good every year? Like they over the last like 10 years, they've been like sneaky good.
Yeah. And
it all started with like Matt Forte. Remember when he was there at Tulane?
Yes.
And he was one of those like there's not a lot of those like mid-major conference stud running backs that work out, but Matt Forte was good with the Bears for quite a while.
Yeah.
But he came out of Tulane, like set the world on fire at Tulane, and then also was really good in the NFL.
Yeah.
And then it seems like
great with the Bears.
Pretty much ever since then, Tulane's been pretty good. Like
yes.
And sometimes really good.
That's true. I think I take back them being ranked. They should be ranked. I don't think they should. They won by 20 against Northwestern, and they have
Northwestern sucks, but
yeah, and then it was 33-31 over South Alabama and 34-27 over Duke. So they're 3-0. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, they let Duke put up 27. They let South Alabama put up 31. And no shade to South Alabama or to Duke, but they are no Ole Miss. And Ole Miss, they can put up points. If that's the only thing they can do, they will put up points. I also do like Jake Retzlaff, though. He is becoming one of the best quarterbacks right now in the country. We saw him play very well for BYU last year. He's playing very well for Tulane already. It will be a track meet, but the question is, can Tulane keep up with Ole Miss, or are they going to fall behind? How much can Jake Retzlaff? Because Ole Miss has played. I mean, Arkansas, I think, will be one of the better offenses in the country this year. Genuinely, from what I saw and from what their stats show, absolutely. This is an offensive-minded team that's going to do pretty good. I don't think Tulane is going to win. I think they're going to drop to 3-1. I think they're still going to be at the end of the season in the conversation for what group of 5 team deserves to be in right now. It's going to be Memphis. It's going to be Tulane. It's going to be USF. And I stand by that 100%.
Okay. I'm looking at the top 25 lines. And so Ole Miss plays Arkansas this week.
No, we just played Arkansas.
Oh, Tulane.
We're playing Tulane.
All right, so the spread's 12.5. Does Ole Miss cover that?
They are undefeated against the spread. I don't think that changes. Again, I don't think Tulane has the offensive firepower, despite Jake Retzlaff's talent, to overcome a decent Ole Miss defense and keep up within a phenomenal Ole Miss offense.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Same way, I feel the same way with a lot of these games this week. Texas and Sam Houston, I honestly would say take this fucking spread. If the spread's going to be like 30 points, take it. Sam Houston's going to put up 7 and they're going to lose by 3 scores.
Yeah.
Texas
7
is not
if they're
back.
lucky.
We're looking at like Oregon State. Yes, Oregon's going to cover the spread there.
Yeah, Oregon State's.
Yeah. Now, I think
like they're good at like 2 out of every 5 years. This is not one of those years, I don't think.
Oklahoma has Auburn. I think my 2 games of the week right now, and we'll get to Texas Tech and Utah in a second, are Texas Tech and Utah and Oklahoma and Auburn. I think those are 2, and not to like, I think both of these teams are good this season. This is a 22 ranked Auburn. I think this is the game that we're going to see just how good Auburn is. Yeah. I think I don't think they're going to win because they're playing in Norman, but I think they're going to keep it close. I think it's going to be, a showcase of how talented Hugh Freeze's Tigers are and what we can expect from them for the rest of the season. I mean, it's a solid week this week. Alabama, I think, deserves to be ranked where they are. They didn't struggle against Wisconsin, but it's Wisconsin.
Wisconsin's always tough, but they're not particularly good this year.
No. This Tennessee team, I think, is also ranked appropriately. They lost a super close one to one of the best teams in the country in Georgia.
Yeah.
I think they're not this year. This year isn't their year. Next year, I absolutely think is Tennessee's like absolute make or break
like you
year.
say, they lost at home, so it's more of a statement win for Georgia than it is a statement loss for Tennessee, because while it's a tough loss for Tennessee, it's a really fucking good Georgia team, and they gave them the business. That's the thing. Even if it was at home, this is a Georgia team that with a proven track record of success. Tennessee's more on the come up, and to give them the business like they did, I think that's I think both teams can come away with a statement game where Tennessee, where you came up short, but also you're like, hey, they felt that one. They didn't cruise to that win. They felt that motherfucker.
That was a 10-round match. That was a 10-round boxing match right there.
Exactly.
This Utah team, I am excited to talk about. I got to watch them firsthand. They are not the 16th best team in the country, because if they are, Wyoming deserves to be in the conversation. Because holy shit, this offense, up until the second half, they put up 4 touchdowns in the second half against Wyoming. Okay, great. They couldn't get past the 35-yard line. They couldn't get past Wyoming's 35-yard line in the first half. They were sloppy. They were overmatched defensively. It was 3-0 at half. They have a kicker who's got a short leg. It travels at 72-20. All right, we're pretty high up. We're the highest football stadium in the country.
Mm-hmm.
It is our highest FBS football stadium in the country. It is high up here. Like, you should be able to nail those field goals. He was missing them short. This is a Utah team who looked dysfunctional, who got lucky. 2 of their touchdowns were absolutely lucky. Just one person blew coverage, and they managed to squirt by. They have a solid running game. Outside of that, I don't see them beating a Texas Tech. I think they're going to drop. I think they're going to lose to Texas Tech, and it's going to be a sound loss.
So Texas Tech and Utah both moved up 4 spots. Who did Texas? They played. Who did they play?
Texas Tech last week had Oregon State.
Oregon State 45-14. They beat handily. Kent State, Arkansas Pine. So they haven't played anybody.
Yeah, they haven't played anybody. Oregon State, you can't make the argument for either. But I do think Texas Tech is a better team than Utah.
And Utah's played Wyoming,
Cal Poly, UCLA.
Okay,
so again, their toughest game came against Wyoming. I think that says a lot about UCLA's program.
Yeah, especially since Cal Poly's basically a community college. I mean, it's a big community college, but
it's for sports. Outside of baseball, it's a community college.
Right. It's like the Gonzaga. If the Gonzaga had football.
Yeah, which they're bringing back. They're joining the Mountain West, I think.
Are they really?
Or at least they're joining the Mountain West for basketball. I don't really know. But this is a Utah
I thought it was
team.
Pac-12.
Oh, maybe it is. I don't know. I don't care.
Who knows? I hate the conference realignments.
This Utah team, not it. I think also Georgia Tech is getting a little disrespect right now. Georgia Tech is legitimate.
Who did they beat?
They have beaten Clemson. They have beaten
Clemson,
Gardner-Webb, and they beat Colorado. And so this is a Georgia Tech team. Now, we're still, this is kind of with the caveat that Colorado is not a shit program and that Clemson is
they're not
decent.
Really good.
They're not really good, but they're not a shit program. And they went into Folsom and beat them after having a shit. In terms of how bad Georgia Tech played that game, they gave Colorado multiple golden opportunities to win that game. And Georgia Tech still managed to win. There were 2 costly turnovers. I mean, it was huge comeback and strong play from this Georgia Tech team to beat Colorado, and then to do the same thing to Clemson, to win it on a field goal to get yourselves to that position to beat Clemson is huge. Haynes King is phenomenal. He is an absolute beast as a dual threat quarterback. Georgia Tech, I think, is my dark horse favorite. They're my number 3 team in the ACC right now, and I think they have a strong chance at potentially running the table and winning the ACC outright. We talked about Indiana. Now, I love this Vanderbilt team, and I'm very happy. I called it last week.
I bet on them. I bet on them and won money.
Take down South Carolina, and they did. The South Carolina team is riding, just like Florida did, the hype of Lenora Sellers. Florida rode the hype of DJ Lagway a lot further than he could carry them. And DJ Lagway and Lenora Sellers are decent quarterbacks, don't get me wrong, but they cannot compete with teams in the SEC, and we've seen that repeatedly now. Vanderbilt, Diego Pavia is, I don't know what he's on, but I want some because he talks trash and he backs it up. He spent the entire offseason talking about, no, this is a team that I want to be on. This is a team that's going to be good. And he's backed it up so far this season. Vanderbilt has statement wins against Virginia Tech and South Carolina now. They are a strong program that I think is going to make a push and that's not just a strong win at Virginia Tech or a strong win at South Carolina. They went in to Blacksburg, wherever Virginia Tech is.
Yeah, Blacksburg.
Beat their fucking hide. Okay, 44-20.
And
then they went into South Carolina.
And by the way, Virginia Tech used to be a blue blood. So like they kind of got a chip on their shoulder. They haven't been good in a long time.
No, but they're a team that should be good. Virginia Tech team.
Yeah.
There were some serious expectations for this Virginia Tech team, and Vanderbilt beat their fucking ass. They went into South Carolina.
Number 11, South Carolina.
Even more. 31-7. That is a solid win over the number 11 team in the country.
On the road.
The road.
Yeah.
That is like
in the
Vanderbilt
SEC
is getting disrespected.
I think so. So they got Georgia State, Utah State, both easy wins at Alabama. That'll be the test.
Could you imagine Diego Pavia takes down Bama 2 years in a row?
You called it last year.
I think I'd like to see some more out of them from Utah State.
Wait, don't make your prediction yet. We got time. But
they have a gauntlet. So they start with Alabama, then they've got LSU, Mizzou, Texas, Auburn, Kentucky, whose defense is always good. Mark Stoops is nothing.
Well, and they're like gifted. The Iowa State of the SEC.
Yeah, and then Tennessee. So this is a Vanderbilt team who, if they're as legit as Diego Pavia says they are, as a lot of people think they are, they could really do some damage. I don't like them at 20. If I had it my way, I would swap Georgia Tech and Vanderbilt with Texas Tech and Utah at 17-18 or 16-17. But I think this is a phenomenal Vanderbilt team, and I am super, super excited to see. I mean, I almost guarantee they're going to be 5-0 by the time they're facing Alabama, and that's going to be a legitimate matchup. This is a Vanderbilt team who has now been ranked in 2 consecutive years. Last time that was done was when Marcus Freeman did it before he left for fucking Notre Dame. Or no, it was James Franklin. Excuse me, James Franklin did it before he left for Penn State. This is a legitimate Vanderbilt team. They have built themselves up in the portal. They've built themselves up in recruiting, and they have a solid offense with a great coach and a great quarterback to lead them through. This is a Michigan team who I am still unsure of anything. They lost to Oklahoma 13-24. Then they've beaten Michigan and New Mexico, or Central Michigan and New Mexico. This week they've got Nebraska.
I don't know about Central Michigan, but New Mexico sucks so bad.
I mean, they fucked over. They got paid millions of dollars to go play at UCLA, and they beat their ass. So they don't.
That's true.
I think that's more of that says more about how shitty UCLA is than how good
I like. That's not
is.
Yeah. I agree.
This is a Nebraska team who beat Cincinnati by 3 and hasn't played anybody else. They played Houston Christian and Akron.
Hey, I gotta go take a phone call real quick, but we'll be right back.
Yapping, or we want to go? We'll be back.
All right. I apologize, but we're back.
All right.
Okay. Michigan.
They've got a game against Nebraska. We're gonna see if this Nebraska team has any footing to stand on.
I want Nebraska to start off really hot. So like I want Nebraska to win, only to lose to CU later. Not because I want CU to win, but just like
because you hate Nebraska so much.
Yeah, I grew up a CU fan, so I always hated Nebraska, and then I got to witness CU fans up close, and I hate CU now. But I also still kind of hate Nebraska. So
Nebraska doesn't play Colorado this year.
Oh well.
So
either way, yeah, like yeah. I want Nebraska to like choke their season away to somebody insignificant later on.
Yeah, I think I don't know. This is a Michigan team who I think is kind of weak. So we will see. I'm not sold on this Michigan team at all. Auburn, however, I mean Jackson Arnold looks pretty solid. He struggled last week at Oklahoma, and I think it's a big statement on scheme fits and coaching fits, because John Mateer is doing really well at Oklahoma. Jackson Arnold did not. Maybe there's a correlation there. Who knows? Baylor win was a statement win.
I was going to say Baylor's supposed to be pretty good this year, right?
Baylor is supposed to be pretty good, and they lost to Auburn at home. So I like this matchup a lot. Now Auburn has starting right now, their SEC slate is legitimate. They start with Oklahoma, they hit Texas A&M, and then they host Georgia and Missouri before they go to Arkansas, and then they host Kentucky, and then they go to Vanderbilt. They finish the season with Alabama. If this Auburn Tigers team,
a gauntlet.
If this Tigers team can, steal a few wins there and hold their losses to 2 or 3, they have a chance. They have a chance, an outside chance, but a chance at the playoff.
that Iron Bowl could be huge.
The Iron Bowl, I genuinely believe it will be making or breaking one of their seasons. I think it's going to be, they're both going into that 9-2. I can see Alabama and Auburn going into that 9-2. Whoever wins that is in.
Be interesting.
Especially since they're hosting it.
I'm not a fan of either team, but
I like it when they're both good.
For college football, it's good when the Iron Bowl means something, you know?
Yes.
It's kind of like back when the All-Star game meant something, you know?
Yes,
you know, like
absolutely.
the winner of the All-Star game meant something like that. Yeah. When the Iron Bowl is for something that makes college football good. Because that's one of the, outside of Ohio State, Michigan, and like Notre Dame, USC, like that's one of the classic rivalries of college football. Auburn, Alabama, the Iron Bowl. So yeah, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see that game be meaningful. Missouri, they're at where they seem to always be at. Like they'll probably season. Yeah. And like I won't be surprised to see them in the top 10 later on in the year. Do they win anything? Probably not, but they're going to be in it all year.
Yeah. So Bo Pribula is their guy that they stole from Penn State. Drew Aller has looked shaky this season. Bo Pribula has not.
I know all the Penn State people are pissed that their quarterback is now in Columbia, Missouri.
Yeah. And they've got South Carolina. They're hosting South Carolina this week. Now, South Carolina has to have a huge chip on their shoulder after blowing it to Vanderbilt. So this is going to be a huge game. I think I don't know if enough people are talking about this game. This is going to be a huge game. If Mizzou comes out on top or South Carolina keeps it close, and I think it'll mean a lot more for, first off, Vandy winning, but also for Mizzou.
Yeah.
I think that'll jump them. South Carolina is still a quality opponent, even if they kind of shit the bed early on. I don't see them winning this. I see them be going 2-1 to start the season with a loss to an unranked South Carolina team who's going to finish the season in the top 25. And I see the same for Missouri. I just don't think South Carolina's 2 losses are going to come from Mizzou and Vanderbilt in back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, I mean,
Mizzou is super heavily favored. They're at home. I'm bucking the narrative and I'm bucking the numbers, but I do think South Carolina is going to come out on top here. I don't think they're going to cover the spread at the very least. It's going to be close. It's going to be tight.
That's where I'm going. I think I'm going to take your advice. I'm going to take South Carolina to cover. I don't know if I'd take them to win straight up, especially going into Columbia, which again, not the toughest place to play, but it's not easy. I mean,
no, it's a legit stadium, and those fans are real.
Yeah, I mean, Missouri is also not really a real place, but the people that live there seem to think it is. So,
yes.
Notre Dame
sucks. Are hosting Purdue this week, and Purdue have the chance to do the funniest thing.
That'd be so funny.
I think it'd be hilarious if Purdue got a win over Notre Dame and then just
in-state
rival the bed for the rest of
didn't win. Didn't even cover by 2 scores in anything else.
3-9 at the end of the season, and one of their wins is going to be over Notre Dame.
Notre Dame is 0-2.
They cannot afford, 24. And I talked about this last week. Their title chances rest immensely on the success of Boise State, of NC State, and USC. USC is currently ranked. NC State is 3-0. And Boise State is 1-1. If Boise State can work its way back up into the rankings, or if Arkansas, who they have next week, can work their way up into the rankings, they have a chance because they've got 2 quality losses to Miami and A&M.
Yeah.
However,
but 1 at home, 1 away
by 4 total points. I'm just the USC is their best opponent on the rest of this schedule.
Yep.
And I don't.
What's Navy look like this year?
Nah, I mean Navy looks like Navy. I think last year was a little bit of a fluke. I don't think we're going to see a ranked Navy program.
Pitt, anything good there?
No, they lost to West Virginia in the backyard bowl or whatever, backyard brawl.
Well, how good is West Virginia though?
Not good.
Okay, so
that's a West Virginia team who had high hopes coming into the season, and Pitt and West Virginia did not play well enough. They were supposed to have game day at that game, and they were like, "Oh, this is not a good enough matchup." So
shit.
I don't think Notre Dame.
Syracuse, they lost their quarterback to the draft.
They did, and they don't look that bad. They lost their one losses to Tennessee, but they haven't, and they beat UConn in overtime. Now that's also a UConn who just lost to fucking Delaware. So
and UConn's didn't they drop down to FCS?
No, UConn's still a big FBS program. Delaware just jumped up.
Oh,
now, UConn was on some people's lists as a preseason Group of 5 hopeful. I don't think that's it. So I don't think Notre Dame has the strength of schedule to make the playoff, even if they went out. And I
don't see how they're still ranked.
It's because their losses were by a combined 4 points to 2 top 25 teams.
Yeah, I get that, but you still lost 2 out of 2.
Yeah, I don't think they should be ranked. I'm looking at some of these teams that are receiving votes. I think South Carolina should be up there. South Carolina dropped 1, but I dropped them to 25, 24.
Well, anybody with 1 win on their record should be receiving more votes than Notre Dame.
Yes. I think South Florida should have stayed up there too. If we're considering Miami to be that good of a team that it's keeping Notre Dame in the rankings, South Florida deserves to be up there too. They have more ranked wins than Notre Dame has wins at all.
Yeah, but they did get blown out by the team that Notre Dame lost by 1 point too. So either way, 0-2, you can't be ranked to top 25 and not have a win.
Chiefs. It's like the Chiefs. They suck. Just like Notre Dame. Notre Dame and the Chiefs are in the same boat. They're garbage. They're 0-2.
Tennessee's beat Missouri State, beat them handily. Georgia Southern beat them handily. Purdue beat them pretty handily.
It was, I think it was a lot further away than that score. I think there was some garbage time points scored by Purdue. But USC has a pretty tough schedule. They've got
Michigan State. They're kind of on the come up a little bit, aren't they?
They are on the come up. I think they're 3-0.
Because what was there? Tom Izzo was there the coach before?
Yeah, and they're kind of finally gaining some ground back. They've got wins against Boston College, Youngstown State, and Western Michigan. Their win against Boston College is a pretty solid win. I think this is going to be a huge game, though, for Michigan State, because if they can win here, they have a pretty solid schedule that could push them up. I mean, they've been good at football before. They're not known for it. They're a basketball school, but
they've been pretty solid in football for extended periods of times. Not barn burners. I wouldn't call them a blue blood, but they're like a second tier team pretty easily.
But they've got
So USC's got to go. They're home against Michigan State. That's probably
go to Champaign-Urbana or whatever it is in Illinois.
Yeah, and then at the Big House.
They're hosting. No, they're hosting. They've got Michigan in LA,
and then they got to go to South Bend.
Yeah, then they go to
Lincoln.
South Bend.
Home for Northwestern. Northwestern's not a real team. Home for Iowa,
and then they're at Eugene,
and then UCLA, who's not a real team either. So
I don't think this USC team is going to stay ranked, and I think Notre Dame needs them to stay ranked. And that's the only way.
Notre Dame definitely needs them to stay ranked, and then to beat them. But
I don't. Yeah, I mean, stay up there.
Michigan State, they'll probably win that.
I don't think they're going to beat Illinois, and I don't think they're going to beat Michigan. So they're going to be 4-2 with 2 ranked losses in conference, but 2 ranked losses nonetheless.
Yeah.
Going to Notre Dame. Notre Dame's going to win that game, I believe. Unless, Notre Dame really is that bad. But they're not going it's not going to be enough for Notre Dame to have enough on the resume to be considered. I think Notre Dame, if they stay ranked, is going to stay in the top in the lower echelon. That 18 to 25 range.
I think that's overranking for them, but if they're going to be ranked, that's where they belong, is right around 24. BYU receiving votes, South Florida, obviously, South Carolina, Mississippi State. What's their story? I heard they were like maybe kind of good this year.
They're good for Mississippi State. I don't respect them as a school.
They were terrible last several years, but
yeah, they've been terrible since Dak Prescott got drafted.
Oh, that's right. He went to Dak. I forgot that Dak went to. Where is that? What town? What's that? Starkville. That's right. Yeah,
Starkville. I don't think Mississippi State is all that, and that is coming from the Ole Miss. We are their big sibling. But they haven't played anybody. They've played Southern Mississippi. They've played Arizona State, which they won. However, it's an Arizona State team that's not ranked anymore. And they beat Alcorn State. And now this week they have North Illinois. Then they've got Tennessee, Texas A&M, Florida, Texas, Mississippi State, Georgia, Mizzou, and then Ole Miss. This team is not bad. This is better than their team last year. They're a 6-6 program at best. They're going to drop. They're going to win this Northern Illinois game, and they're going to lose to Tennessee. They're going to lose to A&M. They're going to probably beat Florida. Because I don't think Florida's it. I think Billy Napier needs to get the fuck out of there.
That's kind of the consensus around college football.
Billy
Florida
Napier
should be better than they are, and it's mostly Napier holding them back.
Yeah,
which I mean, it is kind of how everybody felt about Florida State last year. It's like, no, you can't be this bad. When you are outside of Texas, you are in the football recruiting mecca of the United States, and you can't go 2-10 like that. You just can't do that. When you have the ability to get the best of the best players from Florida without having to work too hard,
and the country. I mean, Florida State is the blue blood.
Right. Well,
you don't think Florida anymore. You think Florida State. You don't think Miami. You think Florida State. Yeah. And so Florida State to be that bad last year.
Right. And if there's 3 states in the country that produce football talent, it's Florida, Texas, and California. And when you rule Florida,
Georgia over California.
Yeah, but Florida borders Georgia.
Okay.
There's a gay little country band that says that,
They are a gay little country band.
All right, so TCU, what's their story this year? Are they any good?
I think we're gonna see some flashes. This is, a decent TCU team.
They always seem to.
They've got SMU this week. This is a game last year that was like insane. But TCU hasn't played anybody. They smoked North Carolina, who has proven that Bill Belichick is not.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about Bill Belichick. Has he won a game?
Oh, we can go check. North Carolina is. Yeah, they lost to TCU. They've beaten Charlotte 20-3. Charlotte 20-3.
The Spiders.
I think they're the Miners.
I think that's
Yeah, they're the Miners or something. And then they beat Richmond 41-6.
Are they the Miners, or Richmond are you just thinking about Belichick's girlfriend?
She is a Cancer. She is a well, Richmond are the Spiders. That's where you got that.
Oh, that's right. Richmond Spiders.
She is a as a fellow Jordan, she is bringing all of us down. TCU though, I'm excited for this game against SMU because it's always going to be like a huge shootout.
That is oil money versus oil money.
Yeah. Now Baylor beat SMU.
It's also like oil money and preachers versus oil money and preachers.
It is, yeah. It's just like Baptist mega churches versus Methodist mega churches.
It's like the righteous gemstones in football form.
It is. I'm excited though for this game. SMU has one loss, and it was an overtime to Baylor. That's why Baylor is considered. I mean, Baylor's at 6, like, getting some votes.
That's another preacher oil money school, Baylor University.
They're in Waco, and then TCU. Where is TCU?
That's in Fort Worth.
Okay, so TCU's in Fort Worth, Baylor's in Waco, and
SMU's in Dallas. Yeah.
So I mean, it's that little pocket right up there.
It's like oil money, evangelical preaching, and finance.
Yes. I am excited though. I think this
also
TCU
probably some military industrial complex money there too.
Without a doubt, without a single doubt. I don't know. I think it's kind of funny that we've got teams like Mississippi State who are receiving more votes than Clemson is. Mississippi State is a team they beat Arizona State, a team who's not receiving any votes.
No. Oh no, Arizona State's got 57.
Oh, they do. Okay, I just missed them. Okay, so they beat Arizona State. But Clemson is Clemson. The fact that they're behind Nebraska, Louisville, South Florida. I mean, that says a lot about this Clemson team. Second.
All right, there you are.
We're back.
I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry about that. The fact that Clemson is receiving any votes at this point, I think, is laughable. But the fact that they're receiving less votes than any of these programs, you've got Mississippi State, you've got Louisville, you've got Baylor, programs that haven't really had great years in the past years, Nebraska's, and they're still getting more votes than Clemson says a lot. I think, again, my favorite matchups this week are Texas Tech and Utah and Oklahoma and Auburn. I think those are going to be the best games to watch. Tulane, Ole Miss is going to end up being a track meet. It'll be fun to watch for a while until like the third quarter. And
Ole Miss is Texas Tech, Utah's early too, so it'll be 9 o'clock Pacific time, noon Eastern.
10 a.m. game.
Yeah. UAB at Tennessee, that'll be a blowout. 38.5 is the spread for Tennessee. For Utah's 3.5 favorites, I'm gonna take Texas Tech money line. Probably not great odds, but it's gonna be plus money. So Oregon State. This is the Beaver Bowl or the Apple Cup or whatever.
No, it's whatever. Apple Cup is Washington Wazoo.
That's right.
I don't know what this one is. It's the Pond.
Something like that.
You've got the Pond. It's or the Ducks and the Beavers.
34.5 for Oregon. I
would take OSU to cover the spread. They are bad this year.
Yeah. Kent State at Florida State. That's going to be 44.5 point spread. Probably take Florida State to cover
and
that.
And the total is 54. I'd go over.
Yeah.
Go over. Florida State just put up 77. They can
and
Kent State
probably won't put up any points.
No.
Auburn, Oklahoma. This
is huge.
That's a good game.
It is. And it's going to really define how talented this Oklahoma team is. It's going to really show how good John Mateer actually is against some really solid competition with that Auburn defense. And it's going to see if Jackson Arnold, is as good as he's seem to be this year for Auburn? Or are we going to get Norman Arnold like we got last year? Is he going to shake the bet? This Tulane Ole Miss game is another huge one.
13.5. Does Ole Miss? I feel like they cover that.
I think they're going to beat the spread on this. I think what's going to happen. I think the final score is going to be like 49 to 35.
Okay.
I think they're going to just barely beat it. Tulane's going to keep up. Pretty much, it's going to probably be like 28 at half. And they're just going to hold Tulane to a touchdown in the second half. And Ole Miss is going to run away with it. That's what they do. It's what they've been doing. It's how they beat Arkansas. It's how they beat Kentucky. Tulane, I don't think stacks up to Arkansas or Kentucky this season.
No.
I think they're good. I don't think they're that good.
Like their first team might be as good, but that's where like the big
really
money, the blue chip organizations. Yeah, it's the guys after those guys that add up, and Tulane just don't have those. They might have a starting squad that stacks up against pretty much everybody, but what do they have behind them? And not much.
Yeah.
Michigan, Nebraska. We talked about that game. I think Nebraska wins that. They got Michigan's 1.5 point favorite. So that's essentially a coin flip with a nod towards Michigan. Like I said, I want Nebraska to get their hopes up and then have them crushed later on by somebody insignificant. So I want Nebraska to win this game. I don't give two shits about Michigan. So, but 1.5, I am gonna take.
Think that's doing Michigan a little dirty here. I don't think Nebraska and dollar store Patrick Mahomes are that good. Dylan Raiola last year showed us how good he actually was, and it was not beating Michigan good, even if they are at home.
Yeah, I'm gonna bet Nebraska.
Do think
but
this is gonna be a fun game though. I think it'll be back and forth for a little bit, and then Raiola is gonna throw like a pick six, and Michigan is just gonna ride the momentum. Purdue, Notre Dame. I think take Purdue to cover this spread.
25.5. All right.
I take Purdue to cover the spread. I think Notre Dame is that bad. I don't think Purdue is good at all. I think Notre Dame is that bad.
I would say Purdue hasn't been good in a long time.
No.
Temple, since
Georgia
Drew
Tech,
Brees was there.
No. Yeah, really.
Like that was like the last time they were good, I think.
Yeah.
Temple, Georgia Tech. I mean, who cares, honestly? Temple is Temple gonna make a run anywhere?
No. Absolutely, without a doubt, unequivocally, no, they will not.
SC, Missouri, South Carolina, Missouri. This could be a good game, but they got Mizzou at 9.5.
I don't think Mizzou is that much better than South Carolina, and that's not to say South Carolina deserves to be ranked. I think we saw last week with Vanderbilt, really outplaying them, but I do think South Carolina has a decent team, and they are playing with a chip on their shoulder.
Well, they were highly touted in the offseason. Some might say overranked, but they do got a lot of talent on that roster.
I did say they were overranked, and I was right. But I still think they are a good team, and I do think Mizzou has still some defensive stuff that they have to work out. And I think we're going to see that against South Carolina. We're going to see, hey, do we figure it out? Do we figure this out? Is this a team that we can hang with, or is this a team that we can beat? What's the deal with that? Florida, Miami. I do love that Florida is 1-2, and Miami is still only 9.5 point favorites.
Does Tim Tebow still have eligibility?
No, but I think his thoughts and prayers are always with them. They should see if Urban Meyer's looking for work.
He's got to pull his hand out of some chick's asshole first. But I'm gonna have to watch this game if I can.
It's definitely going to be. I think it's going to be super telling if Miami absolutely whoops Florida, or if Florida keeps it decent with Miami and keeps pace, I think we might see, depending on how well USF play this week, we might see them jump back into the rankings. And we might see Miami take a drop. I think it's pretty big. Illinois, Indiana, I think that's
also a good game.
Game of the day, number 3. I do like Indiana to win this. I do think it's funny also that it's IU. Isn't it Illinois University or is it University of Illinois? Is it UI?
I think so.
Is it one of them is favored to win? They are both University of I, so we'll see.
Let me check. Let me check my my app here.
But yeah, I think this is a make or break win. This is a make or break game very early on in the season.
Indiana's favored. My app's got Indiana 6-point favorite.
Okay.
So
I think Indiana's at home. Kurt Cignetti is that guy. He is that coach. I think it'll be close. I think Illinois will absolutely cover the spread. I do favor Indiana in this. I think they're going to win.
I'm kind of rooting for Indiana because I really don't got any. I don't care one way or the other on these two. But there's been a lot of shit talk on Indiana after they got blown out by Ohio State last year about how they weren't real. And so I think they do have a chip on their shoulder.
They got to prove it.
And yeah, I think they might be okay, honestly. But I don't know enough about Illinois to see. But yeah, I like Indiana at home. Yeah, Georgia State, Vanderbilt, nobody cares. That's a nothing game.
Yeah, Vanderbilt's going to roll. LSU is going to roll.
Yeah. Texas should roll.
You would think so. LSU
39
and Southeast Louisiana don't even have betting odds, right? Texas and Sam Houston. Texas has been so bad that Sam Houston versus Texas, you can still bet on that game.
Yeah, and Sam Houston's not been good ever.
No. So I don't know. I'm not sold on Arch Manning still. I think he's on the wrong team. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
Michigan State, USC in LA. I think
18
Michigan State's going to cover
favorite.
the spread. I think they're going to cover the spread. I think USC might win this, but I think Michigan State's going to cover the spread and it's going to keep it close.
Yeah, it's kind of. I like that. I like that take. It seems about right. And then Michigan State having to go to the West Coast, that's always a tough deal too. So, and it's 72 at kickoff. So even though it's probably, it's not going to be, not going to get warmer than that, but yeah, the heat might play a little bit of a factor. It's starting to cool off in the Midwest a little bit. So, especially up in that part of the Midwest. But
yeah, I mean, we've had some nights where it's getting close to the 30s if it's not already hitting that. So
yeah, so definitely we'll see how that goes.
Cool.
All right, NFL. I won't pull anything up, but any initial thoughts? I think the Broncos got fucked. That was such a bullshit call. However, they allowed that to happen.
Yeah, we put ourselves in that position where a call could theoretically cost us the game.
Sean Payton needs to learn how to run the fucking ball.
Yeah.
Please.
I don't understand how a guy who made Alvin Kamara into who he is today as a running back hasn't figured out how to run the ball in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Bo Nix is a good quarterback when Bo Nix has a running game to fall back on.
Yeah. Well,
Bo Nix is not the guy who's going to run everything through the air. He is not. He is very much he needs a balanced offense, and he can do really good things there. He's a great quarterback. He is not your do-it-all guy. He is not like a Taysom.
We saw it last year. There was a large drop in points scored last year, and a big shift towards power football. And I think that trend is going to continue because we've seen over the past 10 years, there's only a handful of elite quarterbacks. That's just how it is. There's a reason they get paid the most money because not everybody is an elite quarterback. There's a lot of pretty good quarterbacks, but pretty good quarterbacks typically don't get it done at the end of the season. But in the meantime, a pretty good quarterback can win with an excellent running game and a good defense. And we've seen that. And it's been the tale as old as time. Running backs are a dime a dozen. Like you can get by with 2 okay running backs.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. So the Broncos need to run the ball more. The Chiefs,
they're 0-2, and I hope they go 0-16.
I hope so
have the
too.
worst season ever, and I hope they do. I hope they go 0-17.
I feel like they're gonna start out shitty and then win like 9 or 10 in a row, and then we'll have to witness the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift marriage at the halftime show or something like that.
Yeah, don't you just love that? But yeah, I don't know. I like this Chargers team. It seems like Harbaugh and Herbert have kind of figured it out.
Keenan Allen, old man Keenan Allen is putting up numbers.
He's on something and it's working, and I hope he doesn't get caught.
He's only good with the Chargers because he was not good with the Bears.
No,
he got hurt.
Sucked. No, he's a Charger man. He's
only good with the Chargers, I think.
And I like that. I think I'm excited. I think it's actually blatant corruption and cheating for Tom Brady to be both in the broadcast booth at non-Raiders games and available to interview players and be on the field and be in those environments, and then also be in the coaching booth for the Raiders. I think that is absolutely unacceptable, regardless of how you feel about Tom Brady. That cannot be allowed.
Right. Yeah, you can't. They wouldn't allow that for anybody else.
No. Pete Carroll, I think, is a good coach. I think we're going to see a Raiders team who has a chance at a wild card spot. I think they're the 3rd best team in the division. I think it's the Chargers, the Broncos, the Raiders, and the Chiefs, and that's because I hate the Chiefs. And I really hope their devil magic has run out. And
I still think the AFC West is the best division.
Absolutely, I think but
I wouldn't put the Raiders above the last place team yet. That could change. Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty, that's a good duo.
Ashton Genty just has to figure it out.
Yeah, but I don't buy Geno Smith. He can put up some numbers, but when you need him to win, he can't do it.
No, and we saw that also not just in his NFL career. We saw that at West Virginia.
Don't count out the Chargers chargering like that.
The Chargers do love to charge.
They are the Mets of the AFC West. The Chargers gonna charger.
Mets have caught so many strays.
I know it. Hey,
Texas A&M, they're the Mets of college football. The Raiders are the Chargers. They're the Mets of the AFC West.
But to be fair, the Mets deserve it.
The Mets do deserve it. Are you like without a doubt? They deserve it. All the shit, the flack that we're sending their way.
We were talking all year about how the NL East is going to come down to a game or two between the Mets and the Phillies. And now the last I looked, the Phillies were up like 12.5 games or some shit like that. And oh, wow. Yeah, the Mets really shit the bed. But also on that same note, that's how the Chargers roll. They look really good until about week 12, and then shit goes haywire. Or if they do somehow squeak into the playoffs, they get blown the fuck out.
Or they let up a historic comeback.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that. I mean, Trevor Lawrence threw 3 first-half interceptions, and they were down like 31-0 or something like that. Unbelievable. And they came back and won.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's like the most egregious example of charging I think has ever been experienced by humanity.
Well, and so on that note, like Yeah, they deserve the Mets. The Mets and the Chargers deserve that label all the time. The Mets is just, it's one syllable, so it's easier to say. And yeah, but I think on that note though, like the Chargers look really good right now, and it's same with the Lions too. Like I don't buy the Lions until they actually win something.
Yeah, I think without Ben Johnson, we're definitely seeing. I mean, Jared Goff has a pretty significant losing record under any coordinator or any coach not named Sean McVay or Ben Johnson.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of work to be done in Detroit before people are starting to think that they're legit again.
Well, I mean, not again, but ever.
Well, legit is in like the way they were last year, but yeah.
Well, so we'll see. It's still really early. A lot of bugs being worked out.
A lot of bugs being worked out. I think it's hard, especially with the lack of the one less preseason game to kind of actually figure out what's going on.
Well, and then it's just like one less chance for them to not actually play, because I can never get excited for preseason. Like everybody's like, football's back. I'm like, no, it's not really. It's not.
It's not back.
Until the games actually mean something, it's not back. And I can never I never watch it. I never get excited for it because it's whatever. But that being said, it's still like 3 weeks before NFL really gets started.
Yeah.
Because there's so much shit. And then there's always, I don't even know why we consider them freak injuries anymore. They always seem to happen in the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's at this point they're not freak injuries, they're kind of normal.
They're devastating injuries, but they're not freak. Like they happen a lot. Like Austin Eckler tore his Achilles. Like what is it with the Achilles all of a sudden? It used to, I guess, but they played on
how people forever, it's how people are playing on the turf, how the game has changed, and how plyometrics has kind of taken over the training and the analytics of working out and being in football shape. When people tear their ACL, it's because of they're changing, like that they're planting differently than like you would if you're not going to tear your ACL. And when you're planting like that, it's like those hard cuts. It's not so much. We've kind of moved away from the, we're going to slip through or we're going to knock you down. Yeah. It's much more like, we're going to scheme you up and we're going to jump, left, right. We're going to, it's a little bit more like not jukey, but like more focused on hard cuts and things like that. When you plant wrong and then you go and you try to take off and you put all that weight right on that Achilles on your heel instead of on your toe, because that's what happens when you cut. You're planting, you're putting it on the heel.
Yeah.
You're just gonna tear. You saw it with Aaron Rodgers, how he literally stepped and then went to step forward and his heel didn't leave the ground.
Mm-hmm.
It's a difference in how we're training, how football players are training and how they're playing and how play styles are evolving. It's what's going to happen is that it's either going to shift back or people are going to figure out how to do this without tearing their ACL or their Achilles.
Yeah.
The same reason we have an increase in ACL tears is just because people are training differently and running differently and playing differently than they used to.
Yeah, it's along the same lines. That's why you see the rise of Tom. First of all, they invented the Tommy John surgery, but then now, and it's happening at a younger and younger age too. Which is crazy. Like,
yeah, no, I know kids like teenagers who are getting Tommy John.
My son the other day, he's only 8, so I don't have to worry too much yet. But he's like, I know how to throw a slider. I was like, no, the fuck you don't. We're not doing that. Stop.
Put that shit down.
Yeah, no. Figure out how to throw to a spot first, and then we'll talk about once you've hit puberty, maybe we'll talk about a changeup, and then once you've like fully grown, then we'll talk about breaking stuff. But
yeah, I figured out my changeup. wasn't really much of a changeup because it was just me throwing slightly slower than my already very slow fastball. But yeah, I think that's a good spot to wrap up for today.
I think so. Yeah. We'll see on the NFL. Yeah, it's a long season and it's just getting going, but college football is already interesting, and baseball is getting really fucking interesting. It's getting really fun. So we'll have to play it by ear for next week, but I'm looking forward to seeing what happens then. But on that note, go find us on all the places, Burnin Daylight Sports. Like, follow, subscribe, share, all that happy horse shit, and move your ass. We're Burnin Daylight.